And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to DS Podcast. Let's get right into it.
All right, all right.
Welcome back, guys. We have a special guest here. Can you introduce yourself to the audience, Sam?
What's up, guys? My name is Sam Speaks. I am a dating coach. I specialize and I help guys, find their dream girl, get more dates, find, attract, retain their dream girl, and while maximizing your location. And right now, I'm in Medellin, Colombia, and I'm living the life, and I'm teaching guys how they can also live the exact same life that I've had and all my results that I've had as well.
Dope, man. So, Sam, how was your upbringing?
So the upbringing, man, let me tell you, bro, it was a troubled past, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It was chill, man. So I'm originally from South Florida, and I grew up there for a couple of years. But when I was younger, my parents actually got divorced, and my mom took me to Spain, and so I grew up in Spain and Mallorca, Barcelona and Mallorca for about 9, 10 years or so. Came back to the States, was there for the last 10, 11 years. And recently, or as of like in the quarantine era, I was working at an office job. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I don't want to work in the office no more. I want to just live my life. I want to explore the world. And so I set out with a plan and I saved up a bunch of money, got my passport, sold everything. And I just took my ass to Medellin, Colombia. And now I'm here, man, living life.
Dope, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
So, what actually made you want to be a dating coach?
Well, I would say it came down to like the time of my life about like 7 years ago, right? So I was going through like a rough patch in my life where surprisingly I was getting like no girls. I was like kind of like an introverted guy, just playing video games at home, watching Netflix and just dicking around on YouTube all day. And I was like, man, I kind of miss, being with girls, because back in high school, I used to get a couple, girls here and there, had a girlfriend. But I was like, man, I lost it. Like I lost the sauce just being indoors so much and just being like introverted. Like I forgot how to like get girls and flirt with girls. And so one day I just went on YouTube. I was like, all right, if I'm shy, how do I get girls? And I found, the RSD guys. And I just started learning from them, learning some pickup, learning, red pill methodology, I guess if you want to call it. And eventually, I just started going out by myself and just started implementing the stuff. And I started, sleeping with girls left and right, getting hookups, makeouts, this, that, threesomes. It was crazy. And I was like, man, like, this is so cool. And along the way, I ran into one of my old homies from high school that we had fallen out for like years, right? But I ran into him at the club. I was like, yo, what's up, man? We started talking, and we both followed the same content, like RSD, like Todd when he was with them, RSD Tyler, like those guys, like and Max as well. And the cool thing was like I was a little bit ahead of my journey, and so I was able to like, help him out and give him tips and stuff. And when I saw him get results, and he was like, "Bro, I did that thing you told me. Like, thank you, bro. I got laid, this and that." I was like, "Yo, I like this. Like, this feels good." Like, there's just something about like I don't know, for me, just helping out someone with the knowledge that I learned. And I think that just comes from a place where maybe back when I was, new in my journey, I wished I had like a big bro to help me out. And so being there for my buddy and being able to be his big bro, it kind of made like just everything make sense. And so since then, I was like, you know what? I think this is like my calling in life. This is like the thing that just really gives me so much passion. I just want to help guys out, who need the help, who want to grow, who want to get those results, who want to find their dream girl and share their life with someone that, is worth sharing. So that's my thing, man.
Man, I gotta give you a Don the marker for that one, bro. That was excellent.
Appreciate it, man.
Dom DeMarco.
Let's go.
So, Sam, what's your thought on the actual Passport Bros, the whole movement?
The Passport Bros. So I think there's like two kind of groups for the Passport Bros, right? I think one group is the guys who maybe are getting like no play, in their home country. and they say, you know what, let me go to a third world country or somewhere where the girls are just more feminine and more open and just respect men so I can get results. And, if you're doing it because you have to, not really the biggest fan of that. But there's the other group where it's like you're tired of masculine women, women who don't respect men, women who give guys a hard time, or tell a guy, if he does something amazing, instead of saying, hey, thank you, they say, as he should. And I think that's fucking bullshit. I don't know if I can
Yeah.
swear on here, but
Clarified.
okay, cool. And yeah, I just think it's kind of crazy. So like if you're kind of in that group and you're just tired of the women and you go somewhere like Colombia or Thailand or Eastern Europe and you find just amazing women who just respect men, they value masculinity, they like a guy who is just comfortable being himself, and at least being direct and going for what they want. I say, why not, man? Life is short. We're all gonna die one day. It's like you might as well capitalize on, what you have going for you and just go see the world. Like you don't have to stay in your bubble. You know what I'm saying? You can get out there. And I feel like the guys who are doing it now, they're really seeing that there's more out there in the world, and I think it's a great move.
Mm. That's some gems right there, man.
Hey, man. What do you think about it?
Um, be honest, you said it perfectly, man. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Hey, okay.
Um, so, so what's your thoughts on like the current dating market between like the U.S. and then Colombia?
So, let's see. Current dating market. I mean, y'all know what it is, man. In the U.S., it's just like you get these entitled girls, girls with the OnlyFans, the girls with, 5, 10,000 followers, and they literally think they're Kylie Jenner, because they can go online and post a fucking ass shot on a jet ski or some booty popping shot or whatever the fuck thirst trap. And all of a sudden they got MLB players, NBA players in their fucking DMs, and they think they're like a 10 when the girl's actually a 6 and has nothing going for her besides her looks. I think it's fucking crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck? Because all this does is now these women, they feel entitled. They say, if this guy doesn't make 6 figures, isn't 6 feet tall, doesn't have a big dick, you know what I'm saying? I don't even want to talk to this guy. And all the normal dudes in the world, they're like, what the fuck? This girl is a fucking 6. Why am I even trying? And so it's just a fucking messed up, like, what do you call it? Like, just they're tipping the scales in the wrong way. And what happens, I feel like, it's just, I think guys, what happens when they see this, they're sitting there and they're thinking like, damn, I'm not getting attention from this girl that's in my league, right? Maybe I have to go impress her, and maybe I have to get my money up. Maybe I have to, start flexing more. But then all that happens is the girls just expect these guys to simp over them all the time. And it's like, I just feel like it's just so backwards. But if you go to other places in the world, like, like I said, Eastern Europe, come down to South America, you go out to Thailand, to Asia, women don't really like value status and money the same way that the Western culture does. And I feel like that's why this Passport Bros movement is really picking up, because guys are starting to realize like, yo, I don't have to be a fucking millionaire to bag a 7. Like I can just be making 50K, 60, 70, 80, maybe 6 figures, and I can live a good life and find amazing women who like me for me and not for my fucking money and status and all this other bullshit. So I just feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all women are like this, in the States, but it's starting to become just like a bigger group that's growing and growing, and like this, feminism mentality, when in reality it's just like, I think it's just stupid. Like girls are saying over here, like, yeah, I need to be independent now because men don't cut it. And then they realize, wait a minute, I'm in my masculine. I'm over here acting like a man, doing all this shit for myself, and it doesn't even feel right. Like it feels weird, and it's just so fucked up. We can get into it more, but I'll just leave it at that for now. It's just
Yeah. I actually heard that the woman here in the Western countries is going to end up more single than ever
yeah,
because that's because of that reason alone. So that's pretty crazy.
I believe it. I believe it's both genders too, because like the guys are over here getting blown out by average girls, and then the girls are over here being super picky and saying and just tired of the weaker men that are starting to grow, and because of social media and all this bullshit. Yeah, we're going to like fucking to the TikTok era, man. Everyone was used to the quarantine shit and not socializing anymore. It's getting crazy, honestly.
Hmm. So, seeing that you actually are in Colombia right now, what is some advice for men in their 20s that you would give?
Well, what kind of advice? I mean, when it comes to traveling, dating, like lifestyle, like give me some
Just in
specifics.
general, anything.
General advice,
Yeah.
I would say if you come to Colombia or if you want to, travel outside your country or hometown, I would say, so actually this is something I talk about with one of my clients. So there's like a checklist that I give guys. And these are like the main things that I would recommend any guy like set up if they want to do the lifestyle that I've done and many others are doing right now. First things first, get your passport. Simple enough, right? So get your passport. Obviously, figure out where you want to go in the world because, I'm in Colombia. I chose Colombia because I have friends that are Colombian and I think the women here are extremely attractive, along with the really cool lifestyle of Medellin where it's people are much more happier, the weather is amazing, and everything is really cheap. Like food is really good here, Ubers are cheap. So you can live here for literally $1,500 to $2,000 a month and you're like chilling. So figure out where you want to go in the world. A good way if you want to do it, honestly, just get on Tinder Passport, and just start putting your pin all over the world and just seeing, how the women respond to you. Because, look, for example, right? I'm a white guy, right? I have a pretty unique look, but if I put my pin in Eastern Europe, surprisingly, I don't really get that many matches because I look like a lot of the guys there, right? And that's kind of my background is, anyways. However, if I put my pin in Asia or in South America, my dating apps, they start exploding, and it's because I'm like in higher demand in those places versus Eastern Europe. But for example, I have a friend who's Colombian back stateside, and it's funny because he'll put his pin in South America, we'll do okay, right? He puts his pin in Eastern Europe, his matches explode. And it's just like, ooh, that's really interesting, right? So they want like a Latino guy. Or if he puts his pin in like Miami, for example, the girls love him in Miami as well. So I say, look, figure out where you want to go in the world. What are the things that attract you to this place, whether it's the weather, the lifestyle, the women, the food, the culture. Figure all these things out. See what kind of results you get on Tinder Passport. Get your passport. Get yourself an Airbnb. Go check out this place for a week, 2, 3, a month, whatever you're feeling, and learn some of the basic language, learn some slang so you understand like, what people are saying, and so you can stand out as a foreigner there. And the last thing I would say is get yourself a job or some kind of remote position, something that you can earn at least $100 a day online, where you don't have to be tied to a specific location. It's not a store, it's not like a storefront. You don't have like a business, you don't have a corporate job at an office, something that you can take a laptop or make money on your phone or whatever it is and take that and then go somewhere. And if you do all those things in the checklist that I mentioned, bro, life's gonna be really fucking good for you. And you're gonna live a very nice life. You can have amazing experiences. You're not gonna be sitting here broke, and again, $100 a day is not a lot. In the States, it's not much, but you take that to Thailand, you take that to Colombia, Eastern Europe, and you can live really comfortably, within those means. So I'd recommend that, man. I love
That
that.
gems right there, bro. That was excellent, man.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
So what time of the year is best to travel to Colombia, in your opinion?
The best time of year to go, I would say it actually just passed. I would say the best time is between like January and like now to March, because that's like the best season where it doesn't really rain very often. And now we're starting to get like this kind of like, cloudy season, and it starts raining for like the next 6 months. But realistically, if that doesn't really bother you, any time of year is great to go. Just know that some things you might, your plans might get rained out on, but it's not really that big of a deal.
So, what would you say is the best tourist spot in your opinion in Colombia?
The what?
Tourist spot.
The best tourist spot? So there's typically three places that everybody talks about. Bogota, which is like the capital of Colombia, right? Big, huge, huge city. However, it's a little bit colder there. The people are not as friendly, and it's a little bit more congested. I haven't been to Bogota. I've only been to Cali, and I've been to Medellin. Now, I've heard Cartagena is very, very popular because it's like a cheaper Miami, basically. Like it's on the water, you got beaches, like a bunch of high rises. The only problem there is there's a lot of girls who are working girls. So be careful about that if you're not into that. If you are, have fun, but my clients, they don't really do that, and neither do I. But then there's also Medellin, which is like the most popular one that people know about. And in Medellin, we have this city called Poblado, which is like a sector in Medellin. And there's like an area called Parquejeras or Provenza. And that's where most like the nightlife, tourist attractions, stuff like that are going to happen. And then we also have Guatapé, which is this big like Lake Tahoe, bunch of mansions, little beaches. And they have like this big giant rock you can climb up, see like amazing views of the city. You can actually take a helicopter up there if you really want to ball out. And then you can go on the water with jet skis. You can take a boat out there, a little yacht. It's a good time. So those are like the main like three areas that people go to.
So, what's the preferred public transportation over there? Is it Uber? Is it bus rides?
I mean, from what I understand, a lot of the locals they'll actually take the metro, even though in Medellin it's like above the surface, it doesn't go underground. So they have like a train kind of thing that goes around the city. They also have public buses. Taxis are very common. If not, if you're an American, just jump on Uber. Honestly, like the Ubers are so great here because you can go literally from one side of the city to the other one, and it costs you like $5. And the ride will be like a 20, 30-minute ride sometimes. It's $5, $6, $7, $8 tops. Versus in the States, you go down to the corner store and it's like $10 just for that Uber. It's ridiculous, bro.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it's really cheap in Colombia. Just jump on Uber, you know what I'm saying, and you'll be good.
Okay, so it'll be like the same Uber app.
Yeah, literally same app, same account, same card. The only thing that they'll do is they'll just charge you in pesos, but when the conversion fee goes through, it's like they'll charge you in dollars, and it's like a couple cents because of the conversion fee if you're using like, just a normal bank card. But there are a couple tips, and people have recommended that if you get an Apple credit card, or there's like some other like credit unions that you can do for their credit cards that have no foreign transaction fees. So that's really good if you want to save some money.
Mm.
And then
So,
we have some
man,
comments in here. Someone said Uber costed me £7 to just get to the hospital last month. That's expensive. Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah,
ridiculous,
it's pretty
man.
expensive. So what's the everyday food choices over there in Colombia, man? Is it really nice food? How's it?
Dude, the food actually, surprisingly, the food is better than America. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Oh,
Yeah. And it's crazy, right? So I came back to the States in November, and I was there for about 2 months. So I was there from November to January, and I just came back to Colombia about a month and a half ago. And it was so crazy tasting the difference in food after being out of the country and coming back. Half the things in the States taste so processed, like artificial, just injected with hormones and shit, bro. It's insane. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I'll give you an example, right? So in Colombia, sometimes I'll eat a fast food like a Burger King or something, whatever, right? Just if I'm in a pinch and I'm really like, you know what? A burger from Burger King sounds great, even though they have much, much better burger choices here. But, I've had Burger King a handful of times while I was here. Had a Whopper, it's pretty pretty good. I was like, all right, solid, 7.5, 8 out of 10, cool, solid Whopper. Go back to the States, order the exact same fucking thing. Get a Whopper. I remember I took one bite out of my burger and I literally sat there, I looked at this thing and I said, why does this taste so artificial? I couldn't believe it. I don't even think I finished it. I was like, bro, this is horrible. And normally I finish all my food that I eat. I'm like, I get what I want. If I'm gonna have a burger, I'm gonna bust it down. It's gonna be great. But I just couldn't believe it. So I think, yeah, the food in Colombia is like way fresher. Like they use like real ingredients, the food isn't as processed. And the food selection here is actually, it's insane what they have here. I mean, I've had things from like burgers, they have amazing pizza here, they have amazing like traditional Colombian food. I'm actually not really a big fan of the traditional stuff, but in terms of like Americanized food, the burgers here are literally out of this world. They're so good. The meat is so fresh. Like you can just taste like the cow. It's so real. What else can I say? They have this place in Medellin, actually. I took one of my buddies here when he was visiting. It's called Andres Carnes de Res, which means just Andres, like meat spot, right? And it's like this big, huge restaurant. Apparently, it's like a chain that came out of Bogota. But some people have told me that it's a Michelin star rated restaurant. And I was like, you know what? It's a Friday night. Let me go take my boy there. Let's go have a good time. So we go there, we had a little appetizer, cool. And then we ordered the filet mignon. And the filet mignon, it came out with 2 pieces of filet mignon wrapped in bacon with like this sauteed like mushroom kind of sauce, right? When I tell you this was the best fucking steak I've ever had in my life, let me tell you, this was literally like finger licking. Every bite was so good. And you know how much it cost?
Man, $5.
No, okay, it's not that cheap, but it's $15.
Oh, that's way better than the States, though.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to places like there's a place where I kind of grew up in. It's called Okeechobee Steakhouse, very famous steakhouse. I remember I had like the prime rib there once and the fillet, and it cost like 80, 90, $100, and it's good. It's like really good stuff. But to go to Colombia and you have something that's like one notch better, literally 11 out of 10 steak for $15, I'm like, come on, man, I ain't coming home. What the hell? It's too good. Bro, making America sound horrible. I mean, look, bro, America is not bad. Like, America has amazing opportunities, but once you leave and you come back, you'll realize, like, damn, it really isn't that great. Like, I'm American. I grew up half my life in the States. Like, I've been out here. I've talked to thousands of girls. I've dated, tons of fucking girls. I've eaten at tons of restaurants. I've had tons of crazy experiences. And just seeing the contrast between the two places, man, it's like, hey, look, I'll come back to see my friends and family, but I'm staying, outside of the States for the majority of my life now. Straight up.
So, how's the health and fitness over there in Colombia? I assume it's a lot better than the States.
How's the what?
Health and fitness.
Health and fitness. Yeah, it's funny. I was actually like looking up these stats with this girl I'm seeing, and just to kind of show her a point, because I think Colombia is rated, or let's just give you an example. So the United States is the 6th country for the highest obesity rate in the world. I think it said it's like 60% is obese or something like that. 40, 50, 60% in that range. Colombia, it's ranked like 50th in the world or 60th. Apparently only 20% of people here are obese. So it's a pretty big difference, right? Now, I would say, surprisingly, the gym culture, I think, is more popular in the States than it is in Colombia. However, the people that do go to the gyms in Colombia, there's still people that are pretty dedicated and people who stay fit. But I would say the thing, like the main difference is people really like they walk around more. It's like Europe in that sense, where people walk around, they're on bikes a lot, or just walking around daily life. Like it's more common to walk around.
Oh, wow. So what
like in
about
New
the
York.
fashion sense over there?
What's up?
So what about the fashion sense over there?
The fashion's cool, man. I like it a lot. Like, I would say typical Colombian fashion is just very basic. But when you go out to like, nightclubs or when you go out to places like, there's a place here in Medellin called Provenza. And Provenza is like, it's just like a strip. Essentially, cars can't go through there, but it's like on like one of the main roads. And in Provenza, you have like a bunch of bars, like restaurants, like there's some clubs there. Um, little stores and whatnot. It's a cool place to just go to hang out, like a little downtown. And when you go out there on a weekend, like right, like tonight, for example, it's literally like fashion week out there. Like people are dressed up, like looking fresh. Like the girls are like dressed up in nice dresses, hot outfits. The guys are swagged out. Like it's really cool out there. You get to see like a lot of like, like cutting edge like fashion and like stuff like that. I would say it's like similar to like the LA kind of fashion, but with like a Colombian spin to it, if that makes sense. You got to see it for yourself. It's cool.
Mm. So how's the online dating over there in Colombia? Is it a lot better than the States, or give a rundown on that?
So online dating has its pros and cons, right? So I would say this. Online dating in the States, I think is how do I describe this? It's more saturated with guys. I think there was a study that was done recently where they said that there's like 3 guys to 1 girl on Tinder, for example. So there's a lot more competition. I think if you come to Colombia, there's less competition, but at the same time, it's a little bit more dangerous than it is in the States. Because here in Colombia, this is something that everyone who wants to come to Colombia should look into this. It's, there are cases, and this can happen to literally anyone, but there's something called scopolamine, and essentially it's like the dragon's breath thing or like a date rape drug where they can sprinkle it like in a drink. I've heard people having it like in a perfume, but typically it's administered via a drink. And what happens is you're in a blackout state if someone hits you with it. However, you're completely conscious and you're walking around and very compliant. So people, a lot of times they'll get robbed, the whole place will get cleaned out. So you have to be careful with who you bring back to your place and who you're going out to meet. And always keep an eye on your drink, of course. So that's always something that's like a slight risk when it comes to online dating. And it does happen. It happens literally every week to a new foreign guy who's out here. So just be careful. I always say this, if you're going to do the online dating thing, there's like 3 things I would say you want to implement. Number 1 is if you meet a new girl, make sure she's not like overly too like friendly with you or just down to come over with no objections. Like that's a red flag right there, right? Number 2, if you do meet a girl, go meet her in public first. Go grab a drink, something casual, whatever. Go hang out with her, get to know her a little bit, and make sure you get her social media too, and have your friends like, check out her social media as well. Share your location with someone that you trust. If you're out here, that way they know where you're going. And the third step, I actually just talked about this in one of my posts on Facebook, but it's like a pro tip. If you bring a girl home, a lot of these buildings that you'll go to, they have like someone at the reception desk, right? They call it a portero here, which is like your guard, right? A great, great, great tip to stay safe, and it only takes 2 seconds. You just tell the guy, hey, look, man, I'm bringing this girl up. A lot of times they'll have to get her ID and take a picture of her info, which is great. But just to play it extra safe, tell the guy, hey, look, I'm going up to my room with this girl, blah, blah, blah. I'll be walking her down later. And make sure you tell her, I'm going to walk her down. If she's here and she walks out by herself and I'm not there, go check on me just to make sure everything is cool. And, maybe slide him a couple bucks, a little $5, $10 or whatever. So that way he's like, okay, I got you, bro. And that way you're just like super safe, because if something does happen, and she goes downstairs, maybe like stealing your shit, homie's gonna be like, oh, let me go check on the guy. And then, you have security tapes and all this stuff. And, maybe, it's not the end of the world. So I'd recommend that.
Oh wow, that's really smart. That's really
It's a
smart.
game, man. I've been out here for a long time. Thankfully, I've never been drugged or robbed or or played or anything like that, but I know people who it has happened to, and just learning these tips is just like, hey, it's like, why not say 3 words to the guy at the desk to keep you safe and potentially save you all your fucking belongings, if not worse.
Yeah. So would you say that people in Colombia usually speak English, or you have to learn their language?
Nah, learn the language, man. Like, it's rare to find someone who speaks good English out here. Like, they might know a couple words, but nah, learn some Spanish. That way you don't get taken advantage of, and that way you can actually like, talk to people and maybe negotiate deals, or the girls will be impressed with you. They'll like you more and they'll trust you. So yeah, learn some Spanish, man. I would say anywhere you go in the world, learn the local language for sure.
Mm. So, so what does the future look like for you and your business?
Well, looks like fridge owner's got to go. See you, brother. The future of my business. Well, right now, I'm going all in with the dating coaching thing, helping guys find their dream girls, attracting them, helping them with their online presence, their dating apps, their Instagram, fashion, building confidence, and helping them retain these girls. And realistically, it's my passion. I'm going to pursue this for a pretty long time. I love doing it. I love helping guys out. I love seeing them succeed, and I love seeing them grow from this experience and, find amazing girls that they're super happy with. So I'm not stopping anytime soon, man. I love this stuff.
Dope, man. So do you have any extra stories for the viewers?
Well, what do you want to know, man? I mean, I have tons of stories, man. Lots of crazy stories from being out here.
We could do just one or two.
Okay. So, actually, I just thought of one. So, I met a friend of mine through actually one of my clients, and this guy, he's a pretty wealthy dude, right? He's 29, has his own business, and actually has multiple businesses, sold them, he's pretty well off, does his thing. Anyways, he came out in October and he was like, hey man, I heard you're like really good with, the girls out here. I heard you're really good at throwing parties. And he was like, I'd love to do one, man. I just got a penthouse. Let's do it at my place. I said, all right, sure, why not? So we start kind of like planning this party out. And one of his boys is like, hey man, it's my birthday. It was coming up on Halloween. He was like, my birthday's on Halloween. Let's throw a Halloween party and I'll pay for the whole thing. So I said, all right, cool. So I'll just organize it. So what we did was, I've been doing this for a while now, since last year, is I love just like hosting like these crazy, just like penthouse mansion parties, having insane ratios where it's like 20, 30, 40, 50 girls and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, So it's just like one guy to 3 girls, you're sitting there, it's like, you're going to have a great fucking time, right? And so my boy was seeing this and he was like, dude, I want to throw one of you. So I was like, all right, cool, let's organize this. So he actually had an assistant helping me out, but we spent like a good week or two like planning this whole crazy thing out. We had a DJ at this party, we had lights, we had a girl doing costumes for girls for the Halloween party. There was food, open bar, a photographer, a videographer, and then we had like a crazy Halloween sexy costume contest for the girls, right? And when everything was said and done, like you'll see it like on my profile, I think it's like in my highlights, but we literally had, I think it was 150 to 200 girls on a guest list. All the girls were 7.5s and up in terms of attractiveness. And like the majority of them pulled up. And dude, it was just the craziest thing. We literally had 150 girls there at the whole time, like the whole 6 hours of the party was going on. And the whole time we were there was 20 guys. Like, it was just insane. So that was a great time. It turns out, I didn't even realize this, but we threw the biggest Halloween party in Medellin for Halloween. And like, people still talk about it to this day. Like, I was in an Uber coming home from the gym last week, and this guy was asking me like what I do, like what I've been up to. And I told him like, oh yeah, I threw this party. And he was like, dude, I heard about that shit. Like, I heard it was like the craziest thing. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, it's like everywhere. So apparently like people are still talking about it. So I don't know, crazy stuff, man.
So for the audience out there, do you have any last words to say to the viewers?
I would say this. If you're tired of your life, if you're tired of dating entitled masculine women, If you want to do more with your life, maybe you just don't know how, maybe you're a little afraid, maybe you don't have the money just right, go spend some time figuring out really what you want out of life. Figure out the things that you actually like, not what people tell you should like. Just figure out what you actually like. And I say get out of your comfort zone, man. Get out of your city, get out of your country, go travel the world and open your mind to new experiences and see what's out there, man, because you never know until you go to these places or you experience like new things. And look, life is short. Go do the things you want to do. Go do what makes you happy, and don't give a fuck about it, man. It's your life, bro, not anybody else's. So those are my last words, man.
Mm. So, Sam, how can people find out more about you and your business?
Sure. So if you guys are interested, you can check me out on Instagram. My handle is samspeaks.dating, or you can go on Facebook. My name is Sam Speaks on there. I actually have a Facebook group that I just started. It's called Men on the Move, and it helps guys maximize their location and also helps them with personal development. So if you want to get more info on traveling, on the passport lifestyle, meeting girls abroad, finding your dream girl, and just learning about general dating tips and advice and just becoming a better person, definitely go watch out my content. I'm also on TikTok as well, samspeaks.dating, Instagram, like I said, or on Facebook. You can find me on there.
And there you have it, guys. Make sure you look up yourselves from around the world, and I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Have a great one.
Peace.